Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. I'm Chris McGee, the Hall of Famer, big game James Worthy. We've got Allie Clifton. We got Trudell and Brez working the post game. Can't really sugarcoat it. Embarrassing loss for the Lakers, losing huge leads, not putting a Warriors team away when you had ample opportunities. And you can get away with that some nights, but it's going to come bite you many times in the NBA, and it did tonight, James. Yeah,
it bit them tonight. They went against a team that, was absent. Klay Thompson, a young team, a scrappy team. I was very impressed with what Steve Kerr has done with this team. He got them motivated to play. But yeah, the Lakers, when you have a chance to put it away and you don't, and I think what's happened over this span of wins, they've been used to playing a little bit slow and then turning it on, and they've taken care of business. But tonight, it just seemed like they were just flat. It seemed like they just couldn't respond to what Golden State was doing to them, not getting good shot opportunities, not connected defensively like they normally are. And so, yeah, it was a lackluster kind of a performance, particularly in the fourth quarter.
What if I would have come to you before the pregame show and said, hey, by the way, Allie, Steph Curry's only going to go 3 for 12.
I would have stopped you right there.
Steph Curry's going to only go 3 for 12 from 3. The Lakers will lead by 19 in the first quarter, but they're going to lose the game.
I think that's what's
so crazy?
Kind of, yeah.
And the bench will play great.
Yeah, crazy. I think that's probably what's so mind-boggling, because after starting out the way they did and were able to manage that 19-point lead in the first, you would have thought things were going towards the Lakers' way for the night. But I think what you also learn is what we've continued to preach. It's what they know inside that locker room, is that they are the defending champs. And every single night, you are going to get your opponent's best shot. And also with that comes players who may outplay themselves. I mean, Kelly Oubre is averaging 11 points this season. We're talking about how he can't even throw it into the ocean. And he has 23.
23.
His season high. Pascal off the bench.
Yeah.
Ties his season high with 19. I mean, guys are just playing out of their minds.
So Andrew Miller, our graphics producer, he's a Bay Area guy. He's a huge Warrior fan. We told him to build a fourth quarter collapse full screen, and he did. And I think he did it with a smile on his face, because it was a collapse, colossal collapse. The Warriors outscored the Lakers 34-21. Field goals were 14 of 23, 6 of 19. Lakers an embarrassing 1 for 9 from 3. But here's some other ones, James. They were up 9 with 5 minutes left in this game. They didn't score for over 4 minutes after that. They had 4 turnovers in the final few minutes. Warriors went on an 11-0 run.
Defense going, layups, the bench players for Golden State out-hustled. There's things that we normally don't see. We saw in the fourth quarter in particular.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Warriors team, minus Klay, as we mentioned. Draymond's getting back. Steph's getting back. It's a young team. They outscored the Lakers 67-49. Here's the thing, Allie. The Lakers are not going to be perfect. Right. I know we want them to be every single night, but the Warriors played harder tonight.
Yeah.
67-49 in the second half.
Coming in, Steve Kerr made the point that they're just not in sync right now offensively. I think they turned the corner a bit tonight, because I think at the end of the day, you mentioned how different the Warriors are to what we're so accustomed to seeing. But their system, their style of play, and who they are going to be and want to be about, because you still have that guy, that dominant force in Steph Curry running the show, they're still going to pass the ball. They're going to move that basketball offensively, and they're going to get after it on the defensive end of the floor. And when you put that all together and you continue to stick with that, good things will happen. And tonight, that's what happened for the Warriors.
Yeah, and Frank said it. He said it early in this game when he said it to the team and when he was interviewed. Like, you can't let this team hang around because of that guy. And sure, Steph was 2 for 11 at the time, but he hits the big 3 with a minute left to put them up 5. Kelly Oubre, they had an interesting conversation about him. Reggie was saying, listen, he, social media, fans around the NBA, he was supposed to be that guy to kind of fill the role when Klay tore his Achilles, and he has really had an up-and-down rough season. Well, tonight he came to play. 23 points, 9 of 18, James.
Well, they'd be aware of him. And, Allie mentioned it early, too. They are the defending champions. They're going to get this every night.
Yeah.
Even from the worst teams in the league, they're going to come out and play hard. So that's another dimension that the Lakers have to get used to. They didn't have that last year. They weren't defending champions. This year they are. Every night's going to be a big night. And they had an opportunity to win this game. They just didn't close it out.
Surprised us tonight, James, though. MLK MLK Day in the NBA, it's a big day. It's a national game. It's only on TNT. You're right after an unbelievable Brooklyn game with Harden and KD in Milwaukee, and they built up a 19-point lead coming off of, what, 5 straight wins? They looked so good, and then it just kind of, they took their foot off the gas, Allie.
Yeah, and when you do it against a team, as we've been talking about, who can really light it up, and once you knock down 1 and 2, it becomes contagious. It's tough. It's tough to just flip the switch against every team, as Geeter mentioned, but especially you don't want to do it, even if the Warriors are average right now, you don't want to do it against a team like them because they're too capable. And when they put you on your heels and then the shots aren't falling, the one thing when you look at the Lakers coming into tonight in that 5-game winning streak, the ball was moving on the offensive end of the floor, 26 assists on average, and tonight just 23. Shots weren't falling. And you know what happens when shots aren't falling? It becomes tougher on the defensive end, and it makes you need to dig in even more so deeper, and you're doing it against a team that has caught fire.
Yeah, and the Lakers got such poor shots down the stretch. We were seeing those final 3 minutes, long twos, nothing in sync, no actions. And what's interesting, we're going to show you guys right here, they're still in this game.
Right.
Schroeder misses that free throw, makes the second one. They're down 2. Steph misses that layup. The Lakers get the ball with 12 seconds. The indecision. Games was Steph Curry goes for 26, Oubre 23, Pascal for 19, Dennis Schroeder with 25. Lakers lose. They are now 11-4 on the season. All 4 losses have come at Staples Center. Let's hear from Frank Vogel speaking with Mike Trudell and the media on Zoom.
Hey, Frank, what did you think happened tonight?
We got outplayed in the second half. Simplest way to put it. You know, we didn't defend at the rate that we've been the last few games, or that we did in the first half. You know, they downsized with the second unit, gave us some problems. You know, and then offensively, we got hesitant, tried to overpass a few different times, and you know, we didn't have a great offensive fourth quarter to try to close things out.
Just that final sequence there after you get the rebound, what was your thinking? And sometimes, of course, you get a good shot if you go down and don't call the timeout, but how did that play evolve, and what were you seeing before you finally got one?
Yeah, we had a chance to attack in transition before their defense was set. We wanted to look at that when you know, when it was clear that we weren't going to get a great look in transition. We called a timeout, and you know, we got a decent look with Bron, you know, coming up to gut.
Dave.
Frank, you were teed up for your reaction to Schroeder getting pushed to the ground, or taking contact and falling to the ground. And then there was that sequence where LeBron was called for a travel, and then Draymond scored in the lane, and some of the guys were calling for a travel. How much do you think the officiating affected tonight's outcome?
I don't have anything to say about the officiating.
Dan?
Frank, how did you feel about kind of just the overall late game organization? It seemed like you guys had a little of a hard time to kind of get in and out of stuff.
Yeah,
really
we got hesitant, you know, and you know, that's an area, you know, it's an early game in the season, that you watch that, and it's an opportunity to learn from it. You know, we like I said, we